Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakeman Gaming and Silky Mountains. What are the gaming dragon today? I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Promises to Keep, Artemis's Path. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go! I trail off, nervously shifting aimlessly in my chair. Come on, please, just work with me here. Anxiety takes hold. A sudden burst of anger and confidence completely spent. The fight and that horrible phone call drained it out of me. After a crushingly heavy pause, Artemis lets out a tight sigh and responds, I wasn't helping, I realize that. But these kinds of situations just piss me off. Some of that same fire creeps back into his voice. The morally correct option here is so obvious and so easy. He barely even has to do anything. I decide not to mention that I hadn't volunteered us to do all the work. That will become obvious soon enough. Yeah, I get what you mean, but I guess not everybody can be as good as a person as Theo, you know? Yes, they can. He looks directly at me. They just choose not to be. I don't really have a response to that. It's not like that I'm that great a person, after all. In this situation, a show open and shut, it's ridiculous. He's so demonstrably in the wrong. Even an idiot could see that. People like him piss me off. They make me so unbelievably furious. Beyond all reason. He clenches his talons so tightly that I'm afraid he'll break the skin. I can't control myself. I get loud. I get mean. It's a good fucking thing he wasn't in the room with us, or I would have straight up attacked him. But we need his house, so I can't just do that. And that drives me crazy. He sharply enunciates the last three words, dropping each syllable like a stone. It makes me feel insane. That obvious of punching him that instead of punching him in the face, we're kissing his smug ass. Like, that's completely backwards. It shouldn't be that way. And when I think about the fact that... He lets out a terse, shaky laugh. Shit like this is happening everywhere, every day, all over the world. Good people are sucking up to absolute monsters, begging them for the smallest of scraps. And they still shake their heads and turn away. Even nothing is too much to give. It blows my fucking mind that he had the audacity to even suggest that we were wasting his time. With a hitch of breath, he catches himself and lowers his voice. I just have no earthly idea how he could possibly believe that. How he could think for even a fraction of a second that he was in the right. God, it makes me want to scream. A brief, silent moment. I study my lap. Artemis stares out the window. If it were any other situation, I promise I wouldn't have stopped you. No, you did the right thing. His voice is so emotionless that I almost don't believe him. It's just that the right thing to do was so distasteful. Distasteful. So, you know? Distasteful. I squirm in my chair. I know I'm a pushover, and I always have been, but... Not what I meant. There's no real anger in his voice, but it cuts just the same. And if anyone understands that, it's me. His eyes glaze over, his brows furrowing into a grim mask. I used to let people walk all over me. I practically begged them to do it, to the point where it felt normal and natural. I was so upside down that kindness felt strange. Freedom felt wrong, and if either were ever offered to me, I wouldn't trust it. I never seemed to learn. It would happen over and over and fucking over again until I couldn't even act surprised anymore. A mistake made repeatedly eventually becomes a choice. I remember he said much the same thing last night. I remember the twisting, twirling tendrils of smoke in the moonlit air. And when I think about those days, when my stupid-ass brain decides to randomly play back those memories... He doesn't finish his sentence. He doesn't need to. His face says it all. Is that... I take the plunge. Is that what happened this morning? Immediately, I see his walls go back up, his posture closing off. Almost as if he had forgotten I was here and was suddenly remembering. I told you that was nothing. The sound of voices split the static between us. I spin around in time to see Theo clomping down the stairs two at a time, the rest of the boys following closely behind him. That should keep his word as long as... Theo's eyes land on us and he frowns slightly. Are you two ready? Where are your coats and boots? Artemis rises immediately and wordlessly starts to suit up. Oh, sorry, Theo. Chastised, I follow Artemis's lead. After a quick, awkward trip back down to the basement for our things, we rejoined the others in the living room. Theo takes a head count and starts going over basic plans. Okay, everyone have your phones? We all nod. I'm guessing we'll need shovels once we get there. I have two sitting outside. They're plastic, but the metal ones are all in the garage, and we don't have time to dig them out. I have a metal one in my place. So do I. We could break off while you guys get a head start. Great, you two go fetch those. Stick together. You never know what could happen in weather like this. Meet us at 27 as soon as you can. I interject to my own surprise. I can go with them too, just to make sure no one gets lost in the storm. I couldn't help myself. We had come so close to normalcy just now. I don't want to leave our conversation on such a terse, abrupt note. Sure, Rofi, Ollie. Sure, Rofi, Ollie, and I will see you there. To my immense relief, Artemis doesn't argue. Theo nods once again and opens the door, ushering us into the bitterly blasting wind. Oh, yep, there's that damn power line. It feels colder than ever before. As I take the door from Theo to let everybody out, I see Oliver shiver and pull his coat tighter around himself. Hunter gives me a smile and a nod, taking the door in turn from me. I file out onto what we think is the covered sidewalk. The sheer volume of snow is almost unbelievable. Theo and Hunter's shoveling work from the previous day is basically unnoticeable. When I beheld it all 3 days ago, I felt wonder. Now I feel only fear and apprehension. The fierce wind whips the snow into uneven piles. Paths close to walls are the worst, with miniature hills heaped halfway up the sides of the houses. Cars, unfortunate enough to be left out on the street, are almost completely hidden. Vague shapes in the expanse of white, punctuated by a side mirror, the reflection off of an exposed headlight. Nobody will be driving anywhere for quite a while. Theo and Ollie grab the shovels laying right next to the porch, and Artemis, Hunter, and I split off from the group. A bit of an awkward silence follows as we trudge across the street. I'm this way. Hunter smiles at us, hooking a gloved thumb over his shoulder. I'm that way, Artemis says blandly, pointing at one of the oldest-looking houses on the block. Hunter looks at the two of us, eyes darting back and forth, clearly realizing how close we're standing together. Well, my house is kind of a pain to get into, and it's also a mess. So, I'm good on my own. I smile at him, a silent thank you for reading the room. All right. Okay, cool. It'll just be a few minutes. We'll wait for you. Great. Hunter turns and trudges off down the snowy street. So, I can't count how many uncomfortable silences I've had to break so far today, and the sun hasn't even risen. You live here, huh? Real close to Theo's. That must be convenient. It is. I examine the house as we approach. The building seems to be holding up all right in the storm, despite clearly being ancient. He produces a worn key and jiggles the lock at least 4 times, face largely expressionless. This impromptu locksmithing must be normal, I guess. Eventually, the battered doorknob clicks, and the bird forces it open. I'm curious to see the inside of Artie's apartment, but... Is a shovel inside? Artemis blinks at me. The shovel's in the garage. The main door is stuck shut, and the automated system is broken. I get in through the side door, which is currently locked. The key is upstairs in my unit. You are welcome to come up for a moment, if you want. His tone is complex. He seems hesitant but nonchalant, but thoughtful but also nervous. Sure, I'd love to. Too eager! Okay, watch the third step. It's a stiff breeze away from breaking. The bird turns and scurries up the stairs before I can reply. I take a deep breath to calm my churning insides. I'm a grown-up. I can survive awkward situations. Just be normal. I follow him up to his nest. Artemis's apartment is small and very old. A combined kitchen and living room with only 2 doors leading off to a bathroom and bedroom, respectively. Alright, we're almost done, y'all. Let's make it count. Controlled chaos is how I would describe it. Almost every available surface is occupied by things. The tiny kitchen is packed to the brim with pots, pans, cooking implements, spices, cans, and cookbooks, to name just a few. Neat but massive piles of mail, packages, magazines, and other assorted papers crowd the small wooden table in the living room. Where does he eat? The walls are packed with shelves, each in turn packed with records, tapes, CDs, games, a veritable library crammed into a nutshell. A record player, stereo system, and an ancient CRT TV take up the remaining floor space, with a crumpled beanbag chair plopped in the center. Rumpled? Thin, neat, stuffless pathways trail through the cramped space, leading into the kitchen area and the other 2 rooms. Curiously, I spot a number of scented candles tucked away throughout the space. A large orange one sits on the kitchen counter, its lit wick the only source of light inside the dark apartment. I sneak in a few quick sniffs, trying to identify the scent. Pumpkin spice. Surprisingly basic. There's another vague scent hiding just underneath it, but I can't quite make it out. Hold up. Did he light that just now? Now of all times? I suppose there's no electricity, but... A slight but noticeable crash echoes from the bedroom, followed by a quick but vicious curse. I step over to the doorway, not wanting to barge in too freely. It's fine. You can come in. You've already seen what a mess the place is, so whatever. Let's see what we got. I walk in just as he finishes lighting another candle. His bedroom is a little less packed than the rest of the unit, but not by much. My eyes immediately drawn to the electric and bass guitar standing against the wall. Well used, but well taken care of. I'd love to hear him play sometime. Now's definitely not the time to ask. Artemis is busy picking the room apart, presumably looking for the garage key. This is a pretty nice place. Small, but still pretty nice. He shrugs, rifling through the drawer full of clothes. It's not much, but it's mine. Well, technically and legally, it's not mine. I rent. I was gonna ask, you just have this upstairs space? What about the first floor? Empty right now, but yeah, my landlord split the house into 2 units. A nod. That's pretty common around here. You've certainly made use of the space. The bird spreads his claws, gesturing around the room. As you can very clearly see, I have a lot of stuff, and not too many places to put it. Ollie calls it playing Tetris. Whenever I buy some new furniture or a piece of art or something, he always asks if I'm playing Tetris again. I can see why. I like to shop, sue me. And not that you'd get any money if you did. Sorry, I know I'm taking forever, but I have no idea where this key is. I stand awkwardly just inside the doorway, wanting to help but hesitant to start rifling through his bedroom. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!